The stock market's at an all-time high, gold is as well, crypto is trending, and yet real estate? Crickets. Nobody's talking about it. The Google trends for the real estate investing or how to invest in real estate queries are way down compared to a few years ago, and everybody's talking about these other investments. Yet, the most tried and true way for you to create financial freedom and wealth in the future is none of those. It's real estate. When everybody's doing one thing, the only real way to gain an advantage is to do what they're not doing. And the crazy part is, what they're not doing is the number one way to create wealth. 90% of millionaires come through owning real estate. Yes, that means their personal real estate or maybe their personal house, but it also means owning investment properties. You see, real estate does what no other investments do. Real estate goes up in value over time, which hopefully most investments will do, but at the same time, someone else, the rent, is paying down the mortgage. So your equity is compounding. It's not just going one way, the top end is getting higher, but the bottom end is going down. On top of that, you get cash flow every single month. On top of that, you get tax savings. And the biggest kicker to make real estate the most powerful, best use of your financial time is you can use other people's money to buy it. That's why no other investment touches real estate. I'm going to talk about stocks, crypto, and gold and explain why real estate is still the best investment, even if not everyone's talking about it. Nobody's talking about real estate. Interest is way down. People think it's dead. They think it's too hard. They think it's too expensive. None of that's true. But what that does mean is there's less competition out there. Not as many people are investing in it, so there's more for you to get. You have more negotiation power with sellers because if there's not as many people in on the deals, you can get better deals. And institutional buyers have been backing off a little bit recently, which gives us normal investors a little bit of breathing room to go get more deals. Just because it's not in the headlines doesn't mean it's not the foundation for you to build wealth. All right, let's talk a little bit about the stock market. The stock market does have some pros, of course. Since 2000, it's averaging about a 10% return a year. It's super liquid, it's super passive, and you can be very diversified within the stock market if you're investing wisely. However, it does have some volatility to it. If there are short-term issues or threats of a trade war, man, it falls on its face quickly. You also have no control over what the stock does. Sometimes you can sell it if you want to quickly, usually a bad idea because panic sets in. However, you have no control over where that stock goes. It is also taxed very, very heavily. Just try to take money out of the stock market and see how much taxes you have to pay on it. As I mentioned earlier, real estate wins here because you get cash flow plus you get appreciation. You have the control. You decide what to do with the property. You can wholesale it, get money now. You can flip it and make more money later, or you can keep it as a rental and build wealth through it. You have all the levers. You control the investment and you control what you want to do, when you want to do it, and you can even control the value. You can use other people's money to buy it. I know you can buy stocks on margin and there's all these fancy ways, but I don't know anybody that's going to tell you to borrow money to buy stocks, especially when the market is overpriced and oversaturated right now, which everyone will tell you that. So you can use other people's money to buy this real estate asset that's going to go up in value, that the tenant's going to pay down the mortgage, that you're going to get cash flow and tax savings on. That's a win. Can't depreciate your Apple stock. Can't 1031 your Tesla gains. But I built a $50 million rental portfolio without using any of my own money, and I don't have to pay taxes on it because I went all in on real estate and not the stock market. And the biggest drawback of all of these investments is you don't have to use any of your own money to buy real estate. Stocks, crypto, gold, you need money to buy those things. And can they go up in value? Yes, but it's going to take time and your money. All right, let's talk a little bit real estate versus crypto. The pros of crypto are pretty obvious. The upside is insanely massive. You can make a lot of money investing in crypto. It's decentralized, which is awesome. There's nobody controlling it besides, I guess, the whales, but there's no central form controlling everything. You can get 24/7 access. You can buy crypto at 1 o'clock in the morning when you should be sleeping, or you can do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's also digital currency, so it's a pretty good hedge against fiat normal currency that we're all familiar with. The cons are it is extremely volatile, insanely volatile. Actually, the ups and downs are completely wild. I've made so much money in crypto and then overnight it's almost all gone away. So it's definitely something you have to get lucky and time, or you have to just be willing to hold through the gut punches that will happen. It's very, very speculative. A lot of crypto coins don't have any actual value to them besides what people think they are. They're not backed by a company, they're not backed by a utility. Of course, some are, but a lot of people are investing in things and memes that actually are nothing. There's no tax sheltering. There's no way to save money on the gains that you have through crypto. You can borrow against it. However, that can be very risky. And also there's obviously some regulatory risk built in here. No one really knows how much governments are or are not going to get involved in crypto, or they're going to create their own coins. What's really going to go on with crypto, no one knows for sure, and that's a little bit scary. Real estate covers all of those flaws. The only real flaw that real estate doesn't cover is it's not going to double in value overnight. Real estate does go up in value if you invest correctly very rapidly, but at the same time, you're getting all those tax savings, you're getting debt pay down, you're getting the leverage angle, and you get none of those with crypto. What I would do if I were you and you wanted to take that crypto train is I would invest in real estate and use the cash flow from my real estate to invest in crypto, because you're still getting all the other upsides of real estate. Crypto literally might 10x, but then crash 70% the next day. But I've never seen a duplex do that, and it won't. All right, now let's talk about gold, because gold has absolutely exploded and has probably been the best investment for 2025. Gold is an historic store of value, to be sure. It is up there with real estate as a true hedge against inflation. You see, gold goes up in value as inflation goes up, so it's a hedge against inflation, but real estate does the same thing. More on that later. It doesn't rely on fiat currency or any bank, which is very valuable, and it is a safe haven during a lot of economic uncertainty, which is probably what we're going into. The cons are you don't get any cash flow from it. You're not chunking off a piece of your gold and going converting that to cash. There's no compounding. You're buying it and it's growing, but there's no compounding action. It is definitely harder to transact with or even leverage against. Of course, it's possible to do those two things, but it's not easy. And then where are you going to store it? You're going to store it underneath your bed. You're going to do the EFT version of gold. It's just a little bit trickier to navigate because it's gold. Now, of course, real estate wins here because you can transact with it very, very easily, getting cash flow. You can sell it a lot easier than you can sell gold. A lot more people are interested in houses and living than owning gold. You got the leverage portion, the tax savings, all the big things. The one thing I want to hammer a little bit home is the inflation hedge portion. So gold is known as a very, very good hedge against inflation. Real estate does the same thing. Let me break that down. So over time, real estate goes up in value because of inflation, so it's a hedge against it. What does that mean? That means labor and materials cost more over time. That's the direct effect of inflation. I don't think you're going to argue with me there. What goes into homes? Labor and material. That's why building a house now is much cheaper than building a house in 10 years. And guess what? That house that's built does affect the value of all the other existing houses around it. You can't build houses today which you could in the past. Telling you it's a hedge against inflation. Now is a really good time to get started investing in real estate. These other investment asset classes that I talked about, I think are great ancillary ways to invest. But if you want the biggest bang for your buck or for someone else's buck, you really need to consider investing in real estate. Now is an incredible time. I have a sneaky suspicion that real estate is going to go up in value pretty rapidly when rates start to come down pretty rapidly. So if you're getting in the game now, you're making connections, you're doing deals, you're hitting singles, you're hitting doubles, you're learning the process so that when things do break free, you're able to step on the gas as opposed to trying to learn when everybody else is jumping in. It makes the waters pretty rough. So get in now while the competition is lower, learn the processes, learn the systems, and get to a point where when things do break free, you're ahead of everyone else, not treading water with them. There are so many levers you can pull with real estate between the BRRRR method, flipping, wholesaling, creative financing, subject to financing, seller financing. There's almost unlimited ways to get into real estate, and no other asset class has that. So learn from channels like this video, hit the subscribe button if you have not, and get into the game. I can virtually guarantee you that in 5 or 10 years, you'll be wishing that you got in real estate now, just like you wish that you got in real estate 5 or 10 years ago. That's why you're watching this video, because you wish you would have done it. The same thing's gonna happen in 10 years. History and people repeat themselves. Get in now so you're not looking back with regret. If you like this video, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next one.